Hey family.
Hi guys.
It's Tuesday, so it's time for another short tip. This week's short tip, we want you to remember this. The obvious may not be. The obvious may not be. What are you talking about?
I feel kind of bad about this one. A couple weeks ago, you were in the kitchen helping me clean up. I was washing the dishes and you were putting the leftover food away. I had cleaned out a little container to put leftover food in. And you said to me, shall I put the corn in here in this container? And I kind of looked at you like, yeah, if you want to, it's clean. Go ahead, put it in there. And you were like, in here? I can put it in here? And I kind of said like, yes, it's clean. If you want to put it in there, put it in there. And I kind of rolled my eyes and went back to what I was doing. And as soon as I did that, I was like, man, that was kind of harsh. My response was kind of harsh. He has a lot going on. I know you were had a lot on your mind that day. And maybe you were mindlessly asking me a question that seemed kind of obvious to me and seemed like a no-brainer. But because you had a lot going on, maybe you just, at that moment weren't thinking clearly. And I kind of felt bad because, sometimes we get like that. We just need the assurance or the reassurance because there's a lot going on. You weren't thinking at that moment about little insignificant stuff like that. And I kind of was like, it's a no-brainer. Why are you asking me such a trivial question? You're not a dumb person. And it kind of got me feeling bad about that. So I'm sorry.
It's okay. It happens. It's part of the communication process. As you learn to communicate with your spouse, there's certain things that you realize about them. Like you said, you realized that I've had a lot on my mind that day. There was a lot happening, with dad and just different things that were going on. And just my communication wasn't the same. Right. And so even though you reacted that way, you did pick up on it afterward. And that's basically our tip, is that the obvious may not always be, right? So you have to learn how to communicate with your spouse. And as you learn how to communicate with your spouse, you'll be able to pick up those times where things are a little bit off. And instead of kind of treating them like they're off, realize that things are a little bit off, the communication is not right for one reason or the other, and find out what that reason is, and maybe it's something that you can fix together. In this case, it was something small, like putting corn, leftover food in containers, but it might be something big. And if it's something big, your first response, you don't want your first response to be something that is confrontational, right? So as you learn your spouse and you learn your communication style and their communication style, you'll be able to pick up those little nuances and be able to see that things are not right and approach it in a more approach it based on that in a way that is not going to make you feel bad later on. Right? So that's our tip for you this week. The obvious, it may not be.
May not be.
That's all we have for you today. God bless.
God bless.